Hello and welcome to another episode of Startup Hustle Middle East. We're here at STEP Conference for the third time in a row, and we've met some incredible people, one of whom is here on the podcast with us. So this is Riyad. He's a partner at MEVP, which is a VC focused on the MENA region. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for making the time. You had a very interesting panel on Web3 as well at STEP Conference. So.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah, great. So can you tell us a little bit about what MEVP does?
Sure, yeah. We're a VC based out of Dubai, and we have offices in Beirut, in Abu Dhabi, in Bahrain, and in Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. We invest across the MENA region, from Morocco all the way to Pakistan, and from Turkey to Nigeria. But we're really focused on the Levant region, Saudi, UAE, and Egypt. This is the core markets. At the core, we're fund managers, so we manage multiple funds, and our latest fund is a Series B or growth stage fund. That's a $90 million fund that invests across the same region, and we've done more than 15 deals out of that fund.
Amazing.
And, we're hoping to do a few more before we raise the next fund.
Okay, and can you tell us some of the brands that you've invested in?
Yeah, so over the years we've invested in Anghami, which just listed on the Nasdaq. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a great success story from the MENA region. A first for a tech company, and we hope to see more. As you know, Swivel is also listing.
Yeah.
But we've also invested in brands and companies like Trucker in Dubai, Nana, which is a grocery platform in Saudi Arabia. We've invested in some fintechs. Treasury Express, based out of Lebanon, was acquired by Bottomline Technologies, which is a US listed company as well. We've also invested in Rain, which is a blockchain, which is a cryptocurrency exchange out of Bahrain.
Okay.
And many more. So over the years, we've invested in more than 60 companies.
Nice.
And we're sector agnostic. So we look at multiple sectors. There are some sectors that we like more than others, and there are some sectors that we don't like. But it varies by fund. So each fund really has a mandate, a geographic mandate, a stage mandate, so early versus later stage, etc., and a few themes that we follow. But honestly, our industry moves so quickly that we really build a thesis, but as well as reactive to what's going on in the market. Like if you ask me 2 years ago, I would never have guessed that Web3 or NFT would be something we'd invest in. However, we've done 2 investments in Web3 from recently, and looking to do more. So we're excited to what's happening globally, and especially what's happening in the region.
So, I mean, STEP Conference is now 10 years old. We were here when the first STEP Conference event happened. How do you think the startup ecosystem has changed since in the last decade, you would say?
Yeah, it's been a very interesting journey. I think I've been in this industry for 6 years, right? And I've seen things change dramatically. I think you're seeing a lot of experienced founder. So initially we used to see either people with experience in their industry launching technology companies, but they used to have trouble finding experienced staff around, digital marketing, technology, AI.
Or a lot of the co-founders, maybe.
Of course. Now what we're seeing is either second-time founders launching, or founders who were CTOs of other companies. So, for example, the CTO of Swivel launched his own company in Egypt, and we're seeing a lot of ex-Kareem guys. The Kareem Mafia launched their own company. So this is one really exciting trend that has happened, that is happening now. Okay. Another thing is we're seeing digitization of all the industries. Initially, it was content with Anghami, then transportation, but now we're really seeing innovation and digitization across the board, and we're at the cusp of Web3. So we're seeing really deep innovation happening. Another area we're seeing interest is a lot of investors have come to the scene, which in my opinion is a good thing. Right? We're seeing more money across all stages. We're also seeing international investors come and invest in the region. So you saw Sequoia, they do their first investment here, Kleiner Perkins do their investment, General Atlantic. We're seeing really exciting names come, and I think they fill a gap where they can bring in more money at a later stage and more experience. And finally, exits have materialized. These used to be hard.
Yes.
So now with some of the very interesting acquisitions. So Uber acquiring Careem and others, and food
Amazon Souk.
Yeah, Delivery Hero acquiring a lot of these players. But now we're seeing listings. So this is a really important development and a validation of what's next. So Anghami listing in the US, but also Jahez listing in Saudi Arabia. So that's a new avenue that just opened up, and it just creates so many possibilities for founders and investors. And I think this is another catalyst for growth. So I think we have all the ingredients now, and a lot of exciting things are about to happen for founders, investors, and the ecosystem.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think the market has really matured. Like you mentioned about seasoned investors, we've also seen that with Hossam from Namshi moving over and starting Tabby as well.
Absolutely.
So, and in terms of like when we started at that time, the biggest news was Rocket Internet's stake in Talabat. But now with listings, etc., founders are also realizing and startups are realizing that there's multiple ways to exit. There's multiple acquisition options as well. So
yes, and listings are important because they bring maturity. Like to list is much more difficult than to get acquired. You have more responsibility, you have more regulatory bodies looking at you. So it's going, so now everyone wants to list, right? And we tell them to list, you have to have a list of 10 requirements, and you have to mature the organization, you have to mature your financials, you have to reinvent yourself and rebuild yourself. And I think that's a good thing. It's going to bring it's going to attract different caliber of people into the industry, because you're going to need CFOs and auditors and other types of individuals who have had this experience in existing in more mature companies, come into tech companies and transform them. And I think that's a good thing. So yeah, it's exciting.
It's a completely different ball game in terms of due diligence. I'm guessing.
Yeah, and responsibilities, because if you're going to list in the US, for example, you're going to have to answer to the SEC, right, and to the Nasdaq, audit board and other things, and you have duties to your shareholders. It's a different ball game, but it's a good thing, and more to come, hopefully.
Yeah, great.
Also, it's bringing competition in the market. So after the Saudi listing, we're seeing more interest from the public markets in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So I think that's a welcome change.
Yeah, I see the Dubai stock market opening up as well very soon to private companies and stuff. That's what the rumors are. So so it should be an interesting development. So speaking of which, what kind of companies do you usually look at, or what in particular do you look at in a company when you think of investing into them? Like, what's the most important thing?
Yeah, what we look at in a company, right, is quite a few things. Very importantly, the founders, right? Who are the founders? What do they bring to the table? Do they complement each other? Do they have the right technical experience, but also the right experience in the industry, right? We like founders who were in the industry before, solving a problem using technology. We like founders who complement each other. So one tech co-founder, one salesperson, or person who was able to sell the vision, the dream, right? We also look at their team, and we try to test to see if they know they have gaps and they're ready to fill them, and that's important. Everyone has gaps in the organization, but it's good when they know the gaps and when they know that they have to address them. We also look at the market size, and the market size is just a check. It's not really to be accurate, just to see how big really it is. We look how defendable the business model is, all right, and how they want to defend their position over time. We also look at very importantly traction. Okay, what's going on? How healthy is the traction? Are they really investing and getting good return on investment? Are their cohorts healthy? Cohorts means every class of customers or users they acquire. How are they trending over time? Are they staying? Are they coming back?
Value.
Yeah, we look at lifetime, of course. But one thing we focus on, as specifically from Fund 3, MEVP 3, which is a growth stage fund, is product market fit. And product market fit is a stage every company reaches, whether it's offline, online, etc. And it's really when you say, I know what my product is, I know who is my market, meaning who is the customer segment I go after.
Yeah.
I know how to sell them. I know the price, and this is how I sell them, right? And this one, the answers are very easy to know if you've reached product market fit, and it's in the traction. Like if you're seeing growing traction, if you're seeing good results, it means the customers are ready and willing to pay for your product. You have the right product for you're solving the right problem. You have the right solution for that problem, and magic happens when you reach that. And we used to have more early stage funds. From fund 3, we're not doing seed or pre-seed, and this is when you have to iterate on your product, and it's normal. Pre-seed is maybe you don't have even a product. Seed is you have a product, but you don't know if it's the right product. You have to iterate, and that's totally fine, right? And growth is where we are, is really this is the product. It's missing a lot of features, it's missing a lot of things, but you at least know that it's working, and you need to grow. You need money to grow, and this means you need more salespeople. You need maybe more engineers to build more products. You need different sets of missing gaps in the organization. However, you know that this is the product, and this is where this is your customer.
Right. Do you guys also have a financial limit? Like, okay, they should be crossing this amount of revenue per year or per month, or
is the
this number of users? Yeah.
Traction?
Like how do you? What traction metrics do you guys usually look at?
Yeah, look, traction is very important. However, we don't have any limits. It really varies by business model and by sector, right? Yeah. Some business models don't make money in the first 2, 3, 4 years. For example, we invested in Fresha, which wasn't making money, but it has incredible traction in a sense where Fresha is a software as a service for salons and spa. Basically, it helps the wellness industry better run itself, and they were having great traction because they had an amazing product. They knew who the target customer was. They were growing exponentially and globally, and they were having a lot of referrals. And this was a great test of product market fit, right? Okay. They started monetizing 3, 4 years, 5 years even down the road, and that was fine. So we don't really have a certain threshold. What we look for is trends and healthy trends. Like the last thing we want to invest in is a company that is burning their way into growth, and spending and burning is a way. However, you should make sure that you're getting a good return on your investment, which means you are buying the right customers, right? This is when things like lifetime values are important. However, initially it's really hard to have a sense. You can estimate lifetime value, but within a period of 6 weeks plus, you could start measuring and realizing that actually this is not a good investment, or this is the type of customers that I want, or this is the right business model that I want to make sure I have a good investment return on investment, right?
What are some recent investments that you've made that you're very excited about? I mean, if you can talk a little bit more about in the NFT space as well.
Yeah, so we invested in a company called NiftyCraft, founded by second-time founder Vincent Soub, who was the founder of Falafel Games. And what Falafel Game was a builder of games, etc. What he realized with the NFT technology is that it could be applied and provide a solution to the gaming industry in a sense where characters, items in the game, tools in the game, avatars, right, could be forged by someone, could be created by someone to make a profit, to make a return, and then they could be bought by users, resold, and then used in various games. So this is their thesis. So they think that items in a game and characters should be owned by their users, and this can be done through NFTs, right? And they could be used across multiple games. So for example, a sword or a hat or sunglasses could be used in multiple games. And this is the dream and the vision. So this is a small investment that we've done recently, and hopefully more to come. And also looking at a couple of NFT marketplaces that are similar to OpenSea and focus on the MENA region. And we haven't done an investment yet, but we're looking at the space.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, with NFTs, I'm a bit nervous. One, because I'm still in the process of completely understanding, and second also because it's so new that you can't tell if it's here to stay. But I'm guessing if you're making an investment in it,
look, you have to dissociate the technology from the application at the moment.
Yeah.
I think the technology is definitely here to stay because it enables so many things. And an NFT is a technology built on another technology, which is blockchain, which is built on another technology, which is the internet, right?
Yeah.
So it's really here, we are adding layers to solve a specific problem, right? Now, buying an NFT and an NFT, 10xing in value in one day, etc., this is speculative and this could change, and sentiments could change. Like, we are really trying to avoid merging the hype with the technology because I think it scares people. And there are scammers out there, there are really short-term thinking people out there, and this is not what we want. We're not investing in NFTs themselves, but we really believe in the NFT as a technology, like we believe in blockchain as a technology and as an enabler. We don't know what they're going to solve, but we know some of the biggest problems of content creators, of creatives will be solved through NFTs, and that's a good thing. And that's, like I said on stage, we think that Web3, which is the umbrella term for all the blockchain-based applications, will solve problems of for all the stakeholders, whether they are investors, whether they are users, whether they are creators, whether they give their time, their money, etc. And that's very powerful. Like, if you look at Web2 today, if you look at Snapchat, Instagram, everything where users, even YouTube, everything where users have to put a lot of inputs like time, money, effort. They are doing it almost for free today, right? Forget about YouTube. If you look at Snapchat, etc., they're doing it for free. Right? Imagine what will happen when they're doing to make millions of dollars, right? And I think this is so powerful. Like, it works without making money. You have to make money indirectly. So you have to do promotions, you have to do partnerships, etc. But imagine the possibilities when you just make direct outputs out of your input, when you make money directly, when you are an owner in that ecosystem. Yeah. It's so exciting, guys. Honestly, like, I think there's gonna be one day we're gonna wake up and we will say like, obviously, right? Like, obviously this is gonna work, right?
Yeah. So an interesting thing that's happening in the NFT space is some creators are selling limited edition tokens, and it's basically the value of their brand. Like, Logan Paul is selling his NFT, and if you think Logan Paul is going to blow up in the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to buy his shares, basically. Yeah. So a lot of creators are looking into that space, like of digitization of their own brand value.
Equity.
Brand equity. And another thing that's solving is digital ownership, right? Like, so you can buy digital goods and claim ownership to them. It's not just a copy of it. It's like a one-of-one or something like that,
So this is the problem you are solving. So first, this is what NFT solves, right? First, for a creator, honestly, in the digital world, right, they can control the ownership, right, of that digital item. It wasn't the case before. It failed with music, etc. It's complicated, right? Now you could say, this is who owns this digital art. And today we're talking about JPEGs, could be so much more complicated, right? But this is a problem solved for the creator, and then for the users, suddenly this is the same solution where I can own something and it's valuable, and I can monetize it, and I can prove that I own it, and nobody can take it away or reuse it without my permission in a way. Right. And this is a very small application. I think NFTs could be used to many things. Think about some official records, government records, etc. Like, you spend so much productivity is lost when you have to validate certain documents, when you have to go to actually notarize documents, prove that every time you have to get a document, you have to go to the source and reissue it. I think NFTs will solve that problem as well. When you say, actually, this is my birth certificate, and this is the true form of my birth certificate, and it's validated using NFT. There's so much that could be built on top of NFTs.
And digital contracts as well. Like, it's cool that a creator can sell his art, and then every time that art exchanges hands, you get a commission out of it. You can build that digitally into your contract of your NFT.
And this is what the blockchain solves, is that actually validates transaction, it authenticates ownership, it automates certain outputs out of the inputs without having the need for a middleman or centralized authority to actually say or bureaucracy. You're absolutely right. And NFTs and blockchain and smart contracts will outlive whoever creates them. I think there's a big an unhealthy debate about fighting centralization, etc. I think it's good to have this kind of mental discussion around or debate around. Yeah, look, this is going to disrupt that, but really for most people, it's actually unlocking productivity. And every time you unlock productivity, whether it was with the steam engine, or then with the computer, and then with the mobile phone, and then with the internet and smartphone, etc., you create value, right? So this is what's
sorry, not COVID.
This is what's this is essentially what Web3 and blockchain will do. And we cannot know, like, when the smartphone was created, people didn't
we
expect,
don't know how quickly the adoption is going to happen.
yeah, and the use case, right? Like, people would not have guessed that filming videos and pictures will be probably one of the biggest mass use case of a smartphone, but it is today, and who knows what blockchain or which is essentially a decentralized computer. This is what I like. So people say a blockchain is a decentralized database. I think a more useful reality and a more useful technology is saying that blockchain is a decentralized computer. And this is what Ethereum and other blockchains are right now. It's no longer a decentralized database only. It's a decentralized programmable computer. And just think about the possibilities.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's cool.
So we're going to digress a little bit from NFTs and blockchain, but I'm very curious to know, how does it work with any MEVP? Do you have multiple funds? So the fund that is invested in NFT, what was it called? Nifty Craft. So is the mandate to look into growth stage companies that are in the blockchain NFT space, or how does it work?
So when we created, so MEVP manages multiple funds, right? Each fund, when it's created, it has a term. It has a mandate, right, which covers geography, stage, and strategy, and themes, investment, and we call this the investment strategy. Okay. So we launched Fund 1, which is a $10 million fund, early stage fund. This was launched 11 years ago. We've invested from that fund, and for example, Anghami. That fund invested over a period of 3 years. Now we're exiting that fund, right? Then we raised Fund 2, which was a $32 million fund focused on certain themes like marketplaces, health tech, etc., but also early stage. Okay. Now we're in Fund 3, which is called Middle East Venture Fund 3. And this is a growth stage fund. From that fund, we're not supposed to invest in NFTs. However, after 4 years down the road, this technology emerged, and we wanted an exposure in that fund, so we made an exception, and we're investing actually from MEVP itself into Nifty Craft, potentially for the next fund, not for MEVP3. However, MEVP3 has invested in Rain, which is a cryptocurrency exchange, and it fit our purpose because Rain was doing tens of millions in transactions a month. They were generating revenue. They were growing. They had a license from the Central Bank of Bahrain. So it fit the bill. It filled the bill for MEVF3. We did we led the Series A of 6 million in Fund 3 and from Fund 3 in Rain, and then we reinvested in the Series B, alongside Kleiner Perkins, Paradigm Ventures, and Coinbase Ventures. So this is the thesis. But MEVF3 still has a year period of 6 months, and after that we can only invest in existing companies, and we'll probably launch Fund 4, which will have a new mandate and a new geographical. So I guess what's important for entrepreneurs to know is that when you are talking to a VC, they are essentially fund manager. They manage funds, and each fund has a term, has a life, has a strategy, has a geographic mandate, state mandate, has a budget, exactly average ticket size. So from MEVF3 we're putting 3 to 5 million, but from Fund 2 we're putting 750K to $1.5 million, and this matters, right? So just know who you're talking to before. Do some research, ask around. Everyone knows everyone. Just know the sweet spot so that you don't go earlier than you should, or you don't take a no as a setback. Sometimes funds say no for many external reasons not related to the business, so don't take that personal.
Okay. Okay, great. And in terms of growth stage businesses that you've invested in as part of Fund 3, how do they approach you? Is this all Vasta, or do they just come out and pitch to you? Because I mean,
why do you think we are here?
For wasta?
Nah. No, we are here to meet people, to just connect. Everyone is one person away from me and from my team members. We spend a lot of time in events, in accelerators, in demo days. We mentor startups in incubators, accelerators, just to build the connections. We are available on all the on Twitter and all social media, LinkedIn. Everyone can reach out. By nature, we want to talk to others, so it's very easy to reach us, honestly. And an intro helps, but it's not the only way. Like, you could come to us through a friend or through someone in the ecosystem or a founder. But we really get a lot of inbound from our existing portfolio companies, from our network and accelerators, incubators, from our investors, our LPs. And also from other players in the ecosystem. But we also go and do outbound. So we go reach out to entrepreneurs. It has become really exciting and competitive. So we go and reach out to founders sometimes before they reach us. And that's a good thing.
That's interesting, because I mean,
there's no wasta involved ever.
No,
we invest other people's money.
I think wasta is probably not the best term, but in general, feedback we've heard from entrepreneurs is that it is intimidating to reach out to VCs. It's intimidating to pitch, to put yourself out there, to put your business out there. What is the best way to approach?
I understand, and this is
that's why.
I understand. It's typical of technology co-founders, and that's why I said in the beginning, it's a core to have a technology co-founder. It really helps a lot if you have a salesperson, and by salesperson I mean someone who can sell the vision, who can convince the best talent to join your company, because it's a risk as well for talent to join, right? And to take a leap of faith, come to a startup, etc. But also to convince the investors and more investors, because you have to sell a vision that this is where I want to be, especially in the early stage, right? And it helps. But if you're not that type of person, you should not be intimidated. Just trust your instinct that investors want to find the right founder, the right startup. So just reach out, ask for an intro if you need to, but just reach out on LinkedIn or Twitter, whatever you have to reach. It's just, we're just one DM away. Like so yeah, no, never
so slide into Riyad's
also,
DMs.
we don't. Yes. Actually, I have an open LinkedIn profile, so anyone can DM me.
Okay.
But also, like, never think that you need to pitch, right? Like, founders often think that they have to pitch, and to have to go and have. I think they have to make other believe in what they are building and why it's important and why it's valuable. And this isn't a pitch. This is selling your vision and selling your story. And I think founders take the most risk. They often leave good careers. They invest their savings. They get their families and their friends and their wives and husbands into this journey. They take the most risk. We understand this, and it's important to
respect that,
to show that to the investor. Like, you are putting so much of what you own and what you have at stake, and because you believe in what you're building, and because it's so important, and because you saw this opportunity in your previous life, right? Sell this, right? Don't sell a pitch or a story. Just sell a passion, that why you're building it, why it's important, why it's gonna work. And of course there are challenges, of course you have gaps, of course things aren't going as well as you. We've been there, and MEVP has been in the journey in 11 years, and we've seen a lot of things go wrong, right, etc. We know, and we can help, right? This is what you need to sell, and being genuine, being true is what sells. Right?
That's amazing advice. I think it's really good to, like you said, find a partner that, if you're not good at selling that vision, to find a partner that can,
Absolutely. Some people are natural sellers, and they help a lot. They help to get your first customer, your first 10 customers. They help, to bridge the gap. They distort the truth. They don't see obstacles. They don't see issues.
Very optimistic.
Like, I was in Kareem working closely with Mudassir and Magnus in the early stage in 2013. I was doing an internship, an MBA internship with them, and they used to say things. I look at them like, okay, they don't see reality. Like,
naive?
Not naive at all. I think they're just believers that they can change the world, and there no obstacle will stand in their way. And this is how you have to mentally. And if you're not like that, find someone who can uplift you when you're down. Find that person who's gonna counterbalance you, and that's important.
That's really good advice. So you've been on the side of, like, the Kareem journey, as well as now on the investor side and stuff. Which do you enjoy more?
Both are challenging and both are exciting. I didn't spend enough time in Kareem.
You opened up Qatar for them.
Yeah, I was
right?
a GM of. They had launched in Qatar, but didn't have enough drivers, etc. I was in charge of Qatar, which was exciting and challenging at the same time. I don't know which one is harder. I think in investing you have to pick. You have to be a good judge of character, a good judge of business models, a good judge of markets. You have to believe in things. You have to take risk. Being an entrepreneur is you have to focus, build something. Don't take any setback. Don't let setbacks go and hurt you mentally. Just get energy out of them. Solve problems every day. So it's very different, but I think they're complementary. I think good founders will eventually make good investors, and maybe good investors could make. We're seeing a lot of ex-VCs launch their own startups. So Jad Antoun, who used to be at Beko, launched Husby and is doing very well, and I'm seeing more. We're seeing people go to the other side.
Yeah, it's becoming very fluid now, because I also saw Christian from Kareem has moved and started something else as well. Christian
FlexPay?
Eid.
He launched Sapi. From
correct.
QuickUp, and I think he was in Kareem. Yes. And his co-founder, by the way, Ibrahim, he used to be at Designer 24. Before Sapi, he was in Washman, and then Designer 24, and then Kareem.
Wow.
So this is what I meant. Like, these founders are bringing a toolkit and a skill set that they're applying, and we're seeing faster results just because people know and they've did it before, and they've had they've had the fair share of problems, and they have learned. So it's exciting.
The experience matters, right?
Experience is everything.
I remember we when the Kareem acquisition happened, we had a podcast episode, and we were talking about how this is going to change the ecosystem, because with the Kareem acquisition there were so many people that had experience with the Kareem, but also now had additional funds to go out and explore and either invest or start something of their own, because it created 23 millionaires or
more than that.
50
something million.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a while ago, so I don't.
I think Kareem let people dream. Like, okay, this is achievable, because everyone was doubting Kareem every step of the way.
Because they were second market, and
it's just hard. It's just hard to build this business. You're competing with the taxis in the MENA region. It's hard. There was Uber, etc. But they showed that it can be done, and you can be very successful. And then, so people outside Kareem became dreamers, and people in Kareem who got the who have seen everything and got the skill set.
Success,
they launched their own companies. I think you have like maybe 4 or 5 people teams who left Kareem and launched B2B e-commerce. Like, I'm not kidding. So in Saudi, Pakistan, and other places, all of them, many of them are competing now, ex-colleagues. But that's healthy.
Yeah, it's very healthy. It is a big sign of a maturing market as well. So great, amazing. It's been awesome to have you, and I have learned a lot as well.
Thank you. No, it's been fun.
And enjoy the rest of the event, and so people can find you on LinkedIn, right? That's the best place.
So first of all, if you're coming to Step, we have a booth, but also people can find MEVP on our website. All our members are very active on LinkedIn and Twitter, but mostly LinkedIn, I would say. But we can reach out. You don't need to ask for an intro, but asking for an intro helps. But just,
or
just
slide into
DM,
slide into Riyad's DMs.
Or anyone else. We are 20 team members, so
nice.
Find something in common with someone, either a previous school or a country or a company, and just
connect.
But just cold outreaches are fine, and don't try to be intimidated. Don't be intimidated, please. We're all nice people.
Okay.
And I would say all my peers as well, and other VCs as well. So
Okay, great.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
It was a pleasure, and see you around.
Yeah, great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Cheers.